do this. Okay, we will call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia City Council for Monday, July 1st, 2019. I would ask that you please rise for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight we are ever mindful in the height of the summer season, the many blessings and opportunities and good fortunes that have come to Batavia, the splendor of the summer and the beauty of all the trees and flowers and everything that are planted surrounding us, I think illustrate a long and historical commitment of our community to make this a greater and grander and loving place for families and people to come and work and enjoy their lives in our community, and for that we are ever most thankful. Tonight we also want to ask for a special blessing on all those from our community and those from around our nation who are serving on foreign soil in defense of the liberties of the United States of America. We just ask that a special blessing be shown to each and every one of those men and women as they go about their vital mission in their military service. Also tonight, we ask that a special blessing be shown on all those from our community who are sick and infirmed, and ask that they be returned to health and happiness and goodwill in the days ahead. Tonight, as we are now entering the month of July, I feel it appropriate to mention that in the room that we gather tonight, there is history published and illustrated that in this room many years ago in the mid-1960s were manufactured the fuel lines that were later used in the rocket which landed on the moon on July 20th, 1969. And so this room has a very special place in U.S. history because of that component, and without that component, the successful mission to the moon would not have occurred. And so I just wanted to make mention of that and let everybody understand how the world in 6 degrees of separation, we get about as close to landing on the moon as any community around here. Tonight we ask for direction and vision and understanding as we act on the various items of business before us, knowing that each member of the council is here to do what in their own hearts and minds is in the best interest of the community. We ask for all these blessings. Amen. Amen. Alderman Miller, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Miller.
Here.
Rosado.
Here.
Beck.
Here.
Knopp.
Here.
Chancet.
Here.
Wolf. Salvati.
Here.
O'Brien.
Here.
Callahan.
Here.
Meitzler. Millay. Ewer.
Here.
Cerrone.
Here.
McFadden.
Here.
Let the record reflect that 12 of the 14 elected members, 11 of the 14 elected members of the City Council are present and accounted for, so we have the necessary quorum to conduct business. Moving then to item number 4, which is the reminder that we ask everyone who's going to speak to us tonight to either use the microphone that's available on your desk or at the microphone at the podium, because we are being recorded and this will be broadcast live and then replayed many times in the next couple of weeks over BATV, so we wanted everybody to be able to understand what's being said. Tonight we'll move to item number 5 to be items to be removed, added, or changed on the agenda. Who's got this one? Anybody?
I have no items.
You have nothing? Okay, moving then to the presentation of tonight's consent agenda.
Your Honor, the consent agenda reads as follows. Accept and place on file the Historic Preservation Commission minutes of April 8th, 2019, the Plan Commission minutes for May 1st, 2019, Committee of the Whole minutes for May 14th, May 28th, and June 4th, 2019, the 2019 Post-Issuance Compliance Report, the May 2019 City Council Financial Report, the Monthly Building Report for May 2019, and for approvals, the June 28th, 2019 payroll in the amount of $856,390.87, the accounts payable check register in the amount of $6,066,035.55, City Council minutes from June 17th, 2019. For approval, Class F liquor license for the Batavia Community Dinner Table at 1 North River Street, hosted by Main Street on August 4th. For approval, Class G special use liquor permit for Lodi Tap House pop-up special event with liquor service at 31 North River Street on July 12th and 13th. Resolution 19-74-R, approving the final plat of subdivision for Mitzi Acre subdivision. Ordinance 19-46, amending the text of the zoning code. Resolution 19-68-R, authorizing execution of an MSA with V3 Companies Ltd. Resolution 19-69-R, authorizing execution of task order number 1 for construction engineering with V3 Companies Ltd. in the amount not to exceed $163,468.97. Resolution 19-70-R, authorizing execution of a low-interest loan with the Illinois EPA for an amount not to exceed $790,665.73. And Resolution 19-76-R, license agreement with the Batavia School District for construction of the Smith Court sidewalk. I would move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Chanzat, second by Alderman Knopp for the approval of the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Chanzat,
Aye.
Wolf, Salvati,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Callahan,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopp.
Aye.
Motion's approved, 11 yes, no no's, 3 absent. Okay, moving to 7 items, matters from the public for items not on the agenda tonight. Do we have anybody who wishes to address the council? Okay, moving then to item number 8 is the Chamber of Commerce, and we're very honored tonight to have Margaret Perot, who is the newly appointed President and Chief Executive Officer of the Batavia Chamber of Commerce, who is taking Holly Dykeman's place. And I'm very thrilled about this. Margaret's worked with the Chamber now for several years and has done truly, in my opinion, an outstanding job. And I think we've got a real treasure here in her presence and the leadership that she brings to the Chamber. So with that brief introduction, I welcome you here and look forward to many years of you being here with us.
Thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate that warm welcome. I appreciate that a lot. So, yeah, you guys are aware that I'm Margaret Perot. I've been with the Chamber for 4.5 years, but recently replaced Holly as the Chamber President and CEO. So I'm not new to the organization, but new to this role, but I'm very excited about the things that we have in our future and our continued success. I know that Holly typically would introduce a new member when she would come, but I thought, you know, this is a great opportunity for me to talk more about the Batavia Chamber. I know you are very familiar with our organization, but there's probably some of our services and programs that you may not know. So I thought it'd be very valuable if I informed you guys of those so that you could continue to spread the great word about our organization. Okay, let's see. So I started with a little bit more about me. I graduated from DePaul University back years ago. I won't mention when. But soon after that, I met my husband, Jim Perot, and we recently celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary, and we brought 4 children into this world. We're very proud of them, and we've been thrilled to raise them in Batavia. I'm trying to figure out, I'm sorry that am I supposed to click on this? I apologize, Laura. Thank you for your help.
That's okay. We can help you out. Just launch this guy down here.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So when I started with the Chamber 4.5 years ago, the Chamber was at 290 business members. And the mayor said, as the mayor said, we've had tremendous growth. We're now at 482 today. So a lot of the reason that we've had that growth is because of Holly and Catherine Fitch, our special events and marketing coordinator. I have the privilege of working with her, and she is fabulous at what she does and a real contributor to the success of our organization. We are, so a staff of 2 right now. I've posted the position for the membership development specialist, so we will be hiring a 3rd, and then we'll be at full staff. The nice thing is that we're The three of us are easy to reach. We have one phone number. Our door is always open. We listen to our members. We talk to our members regularly. We reach out to them, hear what services and programs they need, and we're responsive. So I believe that's why we've had tremendous growth over the last 4.5, 5 years, is because we're there serving businesses as they need. So what does the Chamber really do? Our mission, the Chamber's mission, is to support business growth and prosperity. We do that through marketing. We have many services that help give our businesses exposure, including our annual community guide that is mailed out to all the residences and businesses in Batavia, and also the businesses in North Aurora as well, because North Aurora does not have their own Chamber of Commerce, so we extend our benefits to them, which provides exceptional exposure for our members of the Chamber being listed in that community guide. We get calls at the Chamber regularly that residents refer to that guide to look for services and products that they would use. So it's a great way to get a referral is by being a member of the Batavia Chamber. Credibility, because these businesses have invested in our community by joining our chamber, we feel that they are a credible business and not one that really is likely to shutter their doors overnight because they've made an investment in our town. As a chamber, we advocate for our members. When they need something, they come to us and we're happy to help support their needs or wishes. We'll reach out to the people that we know that can help support them. Educational seminars is something that we do regularly in conjunction with Wabanzi or Valley Industrial Services. We'll bring specialists in to offer programs for our members so that we answer the questions that they have. If they need information about human resources or marketing or social media, we put together seminars to help educate them. Networking is a huge component of what chambers offer and one that businesses clamor for. They want to be able to meet potential clients, build business relationships, and get exposure for their businesses. It's difficult for a lot of businesses to be able to do that on their own, so it's a great benefit of any chamber, but definitely the Batavia Chamber, because our networking events are well attended. But that way we create the venue so that businesses can get exposure for their services. Recognition is a great service of the Chamber. We have our Inspire Awards, as you all know, in January to give out OLI Awards to recognize businesses that have positively affected our economic prosperity over the year. In October, we do our harvest celebration. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I meant to say in an Inspire Award, at the Inspire Awards, we also give out our Citizen of the Year Award. We, at the harvest celebration, give out our Donna Dallas-Sassy, our Chamber Member of the Year Award, and we also award businesses with their milestones. So great ways to give local businesses the recognition they deserve. We also have a philanthropic arm of the Chamber. Last year, we donated over $7,000 to not-for-profits and charities by having a suggested donation at our networking events to these charities. So in lump sum, we raised over $7,000. This year, it's already at $3,700, so we're very happy to support our local charities. Some of the other membership benefits that we provide that businesses need and desire are our e-blast services, so businesses could supply the chamber a PDF of something they're promoting, either a service, a program, or an event, and we could e-blast that out to our database of over 1,400 business representatives. So it's a great way to give their message that hit their target market. Weekly Digest is our weekly newsletter that we publish in email out to our database of over 1,400 email addresses every Monday. We promote our local businesses and we give notification of our events that are up and coming. It's easy to register for our events and we encourage both members and non-members to come to our events. We want businesses that aren't members of the Batavia Chamber to come see what we're offering so that we can support them as well. And then we think that they would probably decide to join our chamber. As the mayor can attest, we have lots of ribbon cuttings throughout the year. It's a great way to celebrate businesses that have opened or businesses that have joined the chamber. We're happy to create a celebratory event or to celebrate a milestone. We've done 5 and 10-year ribbon cuttings, which are really great. Those ribbon cuttings give our members great publicity because the press typically prints our photos. We have, like I mentioned, our networking is sought after, so we incorporated into our calendar morning, afternoon, and evening events. That way it's conducive to most people's calendar that they'll be able to fit some of our benefits into their busy lives. We give out referrals when we're called and they're requested for a reputable business. We have a list of those, so we're happy to do that. We also keep office brochures in our business. We're located at 106 West Wilson, the old post office building, and we have a beautiful foyer and great photo brochure displays. So any of our business members that want to put their publicity material have the option to do that there. Sorry. Our partnerships, we have a 15-member board of directors. The City of Batavia School District and Parks District have members that are represented on our board. We have home-based business, not-for-profits, industrial, large-size businesses represented on our board so that we have a voice from each of those categories. We partner well with Batavia Main Street. The Batavia Chamber works with the West Suburban Chamber of Commerce executives and meets with them monthly to keep our finger on the pulse and know what's going on in the area. Kane County Chronicle promotes the chamber by publishing a monthly article that we write. I mentioned Valley and Industrial, that we partner with them for educational opportunities. Neighbors Magazine, that publishes Batavia Magazine, offers a 10% discount to our members too. So that's a really nice partnership that we have there. We, throughout the year, work with other chambers. We work well with the Geneva Chamber, Aurora Chamber, St. Charles Chamber. In fact, some of our events that we host are up to 20 local chambers. So we like to give our businesses that opportunity to get exposure outside of just our area. Leads groups are groups of individuals that commit to meeting weekly to support each other's businesses. The Chamber is proud that we have 3 separate leads groups to offer. Chamber connectors, though they're not specifically a leads group, are more of a mastermind so that business owners have each other to rely on and ask for advice. So another great benefit of the Chamber. Our businesses like to get exposure. They want to get their identity out there, their logo, and have people recognize them. So we give them those opportunities by offering sponsorships throughout the year. And oftentimes our sponsorships give the business members the opportunity to grab the mic and to speak to the guests in attendance. So another great way to get their message out. We have a dynamic Batavia Women in Business Council. Despite the fact that the council is women, their events are for everyone. So it's another great opportunity for our members to get engaged and network, meet people, and help build their businesses. We have an awesome website, very user-friendly. It lists, so if you're ever looking for a service or a product or something that could be offered in the area, go to our directory. Just punch in the keyword that you're searching for, and you'll be guided right to a business that will be able to help you. We have on our website over 2,300 visitors a month. The nice thing about that activity is that it benefits all of our members and helps raise them to the top of the Google search. Oftentimes, you could Google a business, and the Batavia Chamber listing of their business will appear above their own website listing because of our activity. Another great benefit, when you join the Chamber, you would have a member information page where you can include all your social media listings and that. Take advantage of our job board. This is actually the way that I originally found my job with the Chamber. Catherine, too, we do great, our job board has great testimonials about finding qualified candidates by using our job board. That is open to members only, so that's another great reason to join the Chamber, is so that you could use our job board. Our job board, our community calendar, our hot deals, those all go out to our Facebook following, too, and we have a great Facebook following in the area. So not only is it posted in our weekly digest and our members are aware of it, it goes out to the local community. We have tiered membership opportunities, so that way, if you just want a little bit of benefit out of the Chamber, you don't have a big budget, you could join at our silver home-based not-for-profit or basic level. But if you want to get the utmost exposure, you could join at our Chairman Circle level, which is our top tiered investment level. All of our membership levels, you're included in attending our events and taking advantage of our services. We do offer monthly payments so that if you wanted to allocate the cost of Batavia Chamber membership throughout the year, you have that opportunity. We started offering that several years ago, and it's been a very popular option, particularly for businesses that are seasonal and don't want a lump sum annual membership renewal coming out of their budget when it may be their slow time. So spreading it out throughout the year has been a really great benefit. Those are additional benefits that we provide to our enhanced level memberships, so our gold, chairman, and platinum level. These are our 6, 7 Chairman Circle members that have invested in the Batavia Chamber at the highest level. So we're thrilled to support them, and their logo essentially goes on everything the Chamber does to help promote them. We also have a terrific ambassador program. We have 18 volunteers that are members of the Chamber that are extension of our Chamber staff. They reach out to our members. They attend our ribbon cuttings. As you can see, that's Jessica McRail's Dollar and Cents ribbon cutting photo that's featured there. So they make, well, Jessica has a big following anyways, but our ambassadors attend to make the picture look nice and robust, and they're great at welcoming businesses to our area. They also call our members, so since we're a small staff of 3, they're great at keeping the lines of communication open and calling our members and asking what they need and what else the Chamber could do to support them. So that's a picture of Georgine O'Dwyer, who was a Citizen of the Year Award winner of 2018. The other events that we have coming up, I know Holly always mentions our upcoming events. BC Squared is our morning networking that's held at Comfort Inn on the second Wednesday of every month. That is July 10th at 7:30 a.m. July 12th through 14th is Windmill City Fest. The Chamber will be, well, the Chamber organized the food vendors that will be there, so a lot of local food vendors will be in the food area. And we have, we're serving beer at the beer tent on Friday night, so please stop by. We also have July 17th, our evening networking. It will be from 5 to 7 p.m. At Wilson Street Tavern. It's a $10 suggested donation, like I said, to benefit a partner charity. The charity will be Fox Valley Special Rec. And we'll have a 50-50 raffle there as well. That's going to be, like I said, 5 to 7 p.m. at Wilson Street Tavern on July 17th. And then on July 18th, I mentioned our educational programming. We have one focused on marketing, programming, and integration at Valley Industrial at noon. Those events need registration, so you could go to our website and register. We would be thrilled if you would join us. So that's it. I know I took a while, but I wanted to review those things just in case you weren't familiar or you needed a refresher. I thank you very much for your time and consideration and support. I'm very happy to be in this new position, and I'm very excited for the future of the Batavia Chamber. So thank you.
Well, I think we are too, under your leadership, and we look forward, as I say, to many years of continued business growth and expansion of Batavia business climate in the days ahead.
Great, me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving to item 9, which is ordinance 19-34, amending the text of the zoning code for KRC Holdings as the applicant, and Laura's going to do the explanation.
Am I? I'm sorry. Let me just get back to the, no problem. I think Scott's going to be the one to handle that.
Scott's got the tech sense tonight, huh?
We'll do a tag team on that one. So this is the text amendment that's to change the islands in, essentially it's to change the number of islands that are required for parking lots in industrial districts. We had talked about this at the committee meeting, and there was some discussion back and forth about, some potential future changes to the code in regards to trade-offs. But I think the consensus of the committee was to approve of this. Did vote in favor of it 12-0. We do have the applicant here who is available in case you have any questions about it. But or if you have any questions of me, it looks like we would be recommending still favorably for this change.
Just want to point out that we forgot to call the nays, and there would have been one nay. So it would have been 11-1, just for the record. I know it doesn't really change anything.
Wait a minute, we're talking about what now?
For the vote at the committee level, Abby would have voted
Okay,
no.
okay, all right. I thought you were talking about something in the meeting we just had. Or
No,
we just went
no.
through, okay. Gotcha.
So, if I may, we went ahead and passed this on last Tuesday. and we kind of changed the code, and it was kind of like flying through it. So I want someone maybe would support me on this, another alderman, that maybe we revisit this again, so we're not opening the door to what Alderman Callahan said Tuesday night, that, looking like a Chicago park, a business park. We want to keep it looking the way it is, and we don't want to lose sight of the future, like I said Tuesday night, and of sustainable building designs, that we want to keep our green spaces alive and healthy. And so I think, Alderman Malay said, maybe we can make kind of like a live code that, a little quid pro quo, that we give something like the gentleman offered, hey, I'll give you more trees. And it looks like it's a very responsible building going in. And so we're pleased with that. And we have to find a happy balance between the businesses and the green space. But I'd like to not lose sight of the green space. And maybe we should all come together on a slow night, or just find a Tuesday night where we talk about it and discuss it, so we can keep that door from staying open for anyone to come in and just follow the code, because it does make it more difficult for staff if we keep changing things. And so let's try to calm that down a bit. So if someone would join me.
I would. Second.
So Laura, you have that now, I guess, on your horizon. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I also want to second that, and that goes to, that's exactly what we were talking about at the committee level. And I think it's great that the applicant did bring some views of what the development's going to look like, to give us a better idea and to settle kind of the concerns that I think as a whole we feel about just kind of willy-nilly starting to pull some of these regulations out without something being traded back in the meantime. So definitely we will want to talk to this again.
Laura?
I just wanted to mention that as recently as last week in a development review meeting that we had, we reflected the conversation that occurred last Tuesday, that if someone were to come in asking for variance on the green elements, islands, for instance, in the parking lot, that they should already be thinking in that direction, that what types of green space would you substitute for asking for a variance and a lack of those things in the parking area itself. So we're already starting to incorporate those ideas.
Alderman Beck?
I was talking to a friend on the tree commission who had also suggested, they're always looking for trees and funding to fund trees for the Parkway Tree Program. So as an option to make even possibly more flexibility for our future menu, that I'm excited to get working on. Because I did keep thinking about this all weekend, and I know it seems well, parking and trees aside, which we all know is something that I'm very interested in, just the nature of the ask itself, I still never came to a point where I thought that the ask justified the change, that the need wasn't there to make a change to our ordinance. A variance, maybe a change to the ordinance, just didn't seem justified. Throwing back in the subject that I'm obviously more interested in, I think there is, I can see the argument that it's just a couple trees, and it's just a couple parking spots. And there is that pervasive thinking in the environmental world, or in the pursuit of sustainability, that we need big changes, that little impacts, or missing a few trees doesn't matter because it's just such a small change. Who's going to miss it? We need Elon Musk to come in and fix our transportation system, and we need people to recycle everything and be to zero waste, when really we need just everybody to drive a few less miles. We need to phase out a few single-use plastics and recycle a little bit better. We need all the individuals to make small changes that'll add up when multiplied across thousands and thousands and millions of people to add up to a big change. I think about vehicle miles traveled a lot too. Obviously, those walk your city signs that say it's a 5-minute walk to get to the creamery, for example. Because my thinking was, if everyone in Batavia, say 25,000 vehicle miles traveled, if everybody saved one trip in town every day, 25,000 vehicle miles traveled, multiplied times 365 days a year, what a tremendous savings of carbon that would be. So I'm approaching this tree discussion in the same way. Yes, it's just a couple trees, and I totally get that, but then you multiply that over development after development after development, and it's going to add up to in a direction that we don't want to go. We want to reverse that and go the other way. So that's just the explanation on my no vote.
Any other comments? So we have a motion and second on it? We do not have a motion and second.
Do we want to allow the applicant to show if they want to speak?
Does the applicant have anything they'd like to say?
If there are questions.
If you want to.
My name's Rolf Anderson. Council, Mayor, thank you for, hearing us and hearing the ordinance, the text amendment tonight. Essentially, your points are well taken, just like from Tuesday night when we were here, we understand. And this is more a changing consumer and a changing way these buildings are used. Ask and necessity than a we simply don't want to plant some trees. And I think that, is something that needs to be discussed, because while we, are now getting our goods via e-commerce, there are more employees, more benefit to cities. And again, this is not something that is inconsistent. This text amendment is not something that is inconsistent with the rest of the park. It is consistent with the rest of the park and what we're seeing in other municipalities. Drew last time had the visual up for us, and I don't know if it made it this evening, or else I would put it up. I apologize. So if you have questions for myself, or Jim here, we're happy to answer them. But again, this is not we don't want to plant trees. I think you saw from the site plan, we have green space up against Fabian that is very vast. And our commitment to be great community members is there.
Any questions? Alderman Callahan?
Yeah, I think the schematic would have been helpful for everybody to see, because I know it was for me, just seeing the additional that was in there.
Again, I wasn't sure who would and wouldn't be here from staff.
Right, and I think to Abby's point, those things that you are highlighting in your development were what made me vote yes on that, because it is offsetting, I think, in the incremental ways that we want everybody else to bring, as you had said. And you were doing that without our prodding and our asking to do.
Well, thank you for recognizing that. We tried to be very thorough and comprehensive with our design and our building from the outset, right? We didn't come in bare bones and not try to mitigate what essentially the result of the text amendment is. And again, I apologize that the visual is not available.
And I think that's...
Oh, can you grab it up?
And I think that's what our concerns are, without seeing a picture of it and without talking with you about it. You're kind of scared that the worst could happen, and that's what we're trying not to happen.
Understood, but also collectively, we appreciate the recognition that we kind of tried to do other things and mitigate this with our overall site plan.
Thank you.
See if we have the landscape version of it or not on here. We don't have the pretty version, but this is kind of the landscape.
It's just black and white, sadly.
No, I certainly remember what it looked like having attended the hearings, and I will tell you, as I think I said the other night, I'm very pleased that a building of this magnitude and this enhanced design is going to be the entryway into Batavia coming in off of Fabian Parkway, right on the Kane-DuPage County line out there. I mean, I think it's going to be a very strong, what we're all about type of symbol that's going to be there, and one that the city can have a lot of pride in versus a big expansive parking lot with maybe 100 cars in it 1 minute and 5 the next, and a sea of asphalt, and they have added this enhanced landscaping package. So as near as I can tell, they've done everything right here by the community of Batavia. I think a lot of people are going to be very pleased and complimented that this building has been built out there in the design and fashion it is.
We appreciate your time and consideration. Any other questions? Thank you.
I move we approve ordinance 19-35, amending the City of Batavia zoning code, Chapter 4.2, parking regulations regarding landscape islands, KRC Holdings applicant.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Callahan, second by Alderman Salvati for the approval of ordinance 19-35. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Callahan?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Rosato?
Aye.
Beck?
No.
Knopp?
Aye.
Chanzit?
Aye.
Salvati?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
That vote is 12 yes, 1 no, or is it
10.
no?
10-1.
10 no, 10 yes, 1 no, and 3 absent. So motion's approved. Okay, moving then to item 10, which is ordinance 19-37, approving variance for side setback reduction from Benjamin Wakefield and Ann Jordan applicants. Who's got this one?
I do. Yes, this is for a rear enclosed sunroom. For the back, it's going to be replacing a non-conforming, unapproved decking apparatus that's in the back. There was a public hearing on it. This will require a 2/3 vote because the Plan Commission could not find in favor of all of the questions. However, I do support this. It is going to be a nice addition to the residence. The residence is a fantastic house, and the owner clearly is just trying to improve her property. Scott?
I have nothing to add other than the applicant is here in case you have any questions, and the attorney as well.
Just seems that all the neighbors are on board with this. We are able to grant the variance, and so it's going to improve the area, it's going to improve the home. To me, it just seems like it's a win-win for everyone. So I would definitely be behind it myself.
Do we have anybody in the audience that wants to address this? Okay. Okay, Alderman Burr?
The only other thing I would say is, situations like this where the house is kind of built a little cockeyed to the lot. I mean, it wouldn't be an issue if the house were turned like 1 degree to the left. This wouldn't even be an issue. So when we come across these, that's kind of one of the standards I would put into place.
Other comments? Clerk, call the roll.
I move we approve ordinance 19-37, approving a variance for an addition at 861 Ravenna Court.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Callahan, second by Alderman Savati for the approval of ordinance 19-37. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Callahan?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
McFadden?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Rosato?
Aye.
Beck?
Aye.
Knopp?
Aye.
Chanzit?
Aye.
Salvati?
Aye.
O'Brien?
Aye.
So that got 11 votes, so you got your majority there. So, motion's approved. Okay, moving to 11, which is Resolution 19-067, R, authorizing execution of a contract with Performance Construction and Engineering LLC for Area 3 stormwater separations, Phase 2, in the amount not to exceed $1,990,753.80. Alderman O'Brien, do you have this one?
I believe this is
Yeah.
Alderman Risotto.
Yes,
Risotto?
this is just part of our ongoing efforts to separate our sewer and stormwater. Our repeated drainage concerns. This is the construction phase 2 of Area 3. It was put out to bid, and the contract is looking to be awarded to Performance Construction and Engineering for $1,895,956.50.
Any discussion?
Well, obviously I'm for this. It's separating the sewers is a big thing. You know, we're doing all this work on our our wastewater facility, and you know, we've been approaching its capacity, and so if we separate these sewers, you know, it just lessens the load onto the facility. And it just, there's been a lot of issues with backups and people in the Area 3 that, you know, it becomes a health issue also. So I'm definitely behind this. I support this one 100%. And I'm glad we're getting this done. So Area 3, I believe, I spoke with Gary earlier, is going to be completed, and we still have Area 2 that we have to do and Area 1. So we are moving and getting this taken care of. So this is a step in the right direction.
I had a call this afternoon from somebody who read the agenda and wanted to know, define for us Area 3. Geographically.
So geographically, it's basically southwest portion. There's 3 combined sewer areas. This is the southernmost on the west side of Batavia Avenue, basically south of Walnut, due west of the West Side Cemetery. Generally, that area down there.
Well, I knew the answer. Fortunately, I could tell him that on the phone, but I'm thinking there's probably somebody else out there watching this on TV that wonder where Area 3 is. So I thought we better have I wanted Gary to answer it because he's the one that obviously knows the best, so.
Probably was an unfortunate labeling by our engineering consultant 10+ years ago.
Yeah.
Mayor, if I could, very quickly.
Sure.
Staff is recommending actually award of this in the amount of $1,990,753.80. That's reflected on the agenda.
Right.
That includes the 5% contingency. So
Okay.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Yes, my mistake on that.
Yeah, I would say certainly from the residents down in the southwest side who have talked to me, most of them seem very pleased so far with the city's efforts down there and the construction and the way it's been handled. I have not gotten much in the way of complaints about it. It's something that needless to say, that I tell people back in about 1913, when this was put in the ground, you know, it seemed like a good idea to save money and put all the water in the same pipe. And we found out, unfortunately, many years later, that probably wasn't a very good idea. And as the community continued to grow, we added more and more pipe and more water, and it just didn't work no more. So,
But you know, you'll find that there are communities that still insist upon doing this.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And, which is, for me, it's amazing, but I can't imagine the people in this area complaining, because they were in here every time a major rain event, they were in here. And so we might not ever see them again.
Well, we hope we do, but.
We hope we do, absolutely, we hope we do.
Situation.
But in better situation.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion that we approve Resolution 19067R, authorizing execution of contract with Performance Construction and Engineering LLC for the Area 3 Storm Sewer Separation Phase 2 in the amount not to exceed $1,990,753.80.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Rosado, second by Alderman O'Brien for the approval of Resolution 19-067-R, the execution of the contract for the engineering of the Area 3 stormwater separation. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Rosato.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Knopp.
Aye.
Chancet.
Aye.
Salvati.
Aye.
O'Brien.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
McFadden.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Resolution 19-067-R is approved, 11 yes, no no's, and 3 absent. Okay, moving to 12, which is Resolution 19-075-R, agreement with Shopee Design Associates for the design of the entry signs. And Laura, are you handling this?
Yes, so you have before you the proposal from Shoppe Design to provide the engineering drawings necessary for us to create a request for proposals for the fabrication and installation of our new entryway signage. I understand that last week the question came up of what was that final design, and I've got the hard copy of the design there, but I can also bring it up on the screen. So this is the daytime version of it. And then we also had a rendering of the nighttime version. This version is slightly different from what's coming around on the board. As you'll recall, you selected this particular design, but the request was both darkening the blue stripe at the top of the sign, as well as creating a rendering of what it would look like lit at night. And so Shoppe Design is going to do a design of 2 sizes of sign. We feel that in some areas, a larger sign may be more appropriate, and in others, a smaller sign may do the job. And as well, they're going to view each one of the areas where a sign is installed today, as well as those 2 areas where signs previously existed, but they aren't even standing there today. The intent is to replace signage in all 8 of those areas, but this year we want to accomplish installing at least 2 of the signs, and we felt that the 2 that might have the most prominent impression on the community would be on the north and the south end of Batavia Avenue. So we're going to try to focus on getting those 2 signs installed this year, and then have the replacement of the remaining signs part of the budgets for 2020 as well as 2021. The sign at Kirk and Fabian right now is one that we would probably look to replace last, given the tremendous amount of construction that's undergoing in the area. I'd like to take this opportunity, too, to mention that Alderman Beck's grandfather, Ted Schuster, was really the motivating factor behind getting the current signs that exist and the design of the sign. And so her family plays a special part in the history of those signs that exist in our community today.
And I will tell you, over the years since Ted originally proposed those and we got them up, I've had nothing but compliments about them.
Yes.
I've never had anybody say, boy, that's a bad sign, or it doesn't represent Batavia or anything else. I've had a lot of people say, well, I'm glad Batavia finally raised its head and showed its identity right where it should be, right at the city limits, so you knew what town you were in and what town you were leaving and what town you're coming into. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, among other things that Ted had in mind when he wanted to put those up, that was all part of the deal. Give us a strong community identity that we could be proud of. And I think these continue that factor on. Any other discussion? Alderman Miller?
I would like to, I had mentioned it before when we had talked about the monies that we are using for, to help out like on Route 25 and on the edges where people are able to put in for grants.
Oh, yes, the Gateway Improvement Grant Program.
Improvement Grant Program. We talked about the possibility that that money can be used for anything. And so depending how that is going over the next 12 months or so, maybe looking at that as an opportunity to help fund these signs if we're not getting as much interest as we expected, or we're not going to spend as much there as we thought.
Right, because it certainly does. These signs also promote economic development for our community.
Alderman O'Brien?
Yeah, Laura, do we get any costs on these signs yet?
Yes, we have had initial costs on the sign, and they were quite low, like surprisingly low. And then when we met with Shopee Design, they told us that it'd be hard to believe that the signs would come in at that price. So, Gary, do you recall anything ballpark-wise about the cost?
So I think the original surprisingly low estimate was we could do them all for like, wasn't it like?
48,000?
Right, yeah, it was like less than
8
10,000
signs?
a piece. $5,000 to $7,000 a piece. Shopee did not feel that was realistic at all. And again, this depends on whether we go with the faux stone or the real stone. I think the faux stone, weren't they in the $20,000 range?
I recall that, yeah.
The real stone may be twice that amount.
Right.
That's the whole point of going through the exercise, is to try and see what ballpark we end up. So I think we figured we could do 2 this year.
Right, and still fit within we have a $60,000 budget, but that includes all of these
Right.
all the design work that we're doing as well.
So we're kind of ballparking at about $20,000 a sign.
That's for like the faux stone up to the concrete base, and then if we end up going with the real stone, we don't quite know where that's gonna fall in.
And it's one this year.
Then maybe
So it's one of the things that we were talking about was going with the concrete base would give a little bit more fortitude to the look of the sign, as opposed to if we go with the faux stone. To the trained eye, sometimes that can be can be seen and detract from the authenticity of it.
So a certain community to the south of us, who shall remain unnameless, did some really nice signs, but if you look at some of their signs, they appear to be floating in the air. Even though they're supposed to be masonry and brick, the bottoms of them actually have an air gap underneath them. So it just goes to the aesthetic of it. If we want these to appear to be stone, then, let's put them on a foundation and make them look like they're stone.
I would agree. I think a foundation is vital. So I would not argue, I
Great.
would not oppose foundations.
Any other comments or questions? Alderman Knopp?
Mentioned it when we talked about this design some months ago. In areas where we don't currently have electricity running, when it goes out for quote, can we look at the option of installing solar-powered lights rather than running underground lines to those signs?
Sure, we can look at that. And, some signs, more than others, probably need to be lighted.
Right.
We don't have to light all of them, but wherever we're looking at lighting, we should look at the solar option.
And we don't need stadium lighting so that it can be seen from the moon, so.
Noted.
I know my sidewalk's pretty well lit at night and it's solar charged batteries and I don't trip.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Other comments? You want to make the motion here?
Okay, I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion that we recommend approval of Resolution 1975R, agreement with Shopee Design Associates, Inc., for an amount not to exceed $9,275 to perform design services for entryway signage.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Rosado, second by Alderman Beck for the approval of the Resolution 19-75-R agreement with Shopee Design for the design of the entryway signs. Any further discussion? Clerk call the roll.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Knopp,
Aye.
Chansett,
Aye.
Salvati,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Callahan,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
McFadden,
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Motion is approved, 11 yes, no no's, 3 absent. Okay, moving to 13, the administrator's report. Laura?
I'd just like to start off talking a little bit about the relationship that the city of Batavia has with its Chamber of Commerce. I wish Margaret were still here because I'd like to really compliment them on the work that they do for our business community and what an incredible partner they are for the city of Batavia. In my previous position, I was in Aurora with the Aurora Area Chamber of Commerce, where I had the opportunity to serve as president of their board. And I can tell you that the Batavia Chamber of Commerce is as or more a dynamic organization, even with fewer resources and in a much smaller community. The programs that they offer are of such a value to their membership, and there is just such a high degree of engagement and participation among the members of the Chamber of Commerce. It's just one of the great examples of the way that a multitude of organizations here in the city of Batavia support one another, integrate well with one another, and we are very happy and proud to have the Chamber of Commerce as a partner organization. We will have no committee of the whole meeting tomorrow night, and then also we will have no plan commission meeting on July 3rd. We, of course, have our wonderful 4th of July Sky Concert that will be coming up on the 4th of July out at Engstrom Park from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Everyone should definitely get out and enjoy that. It's an amazing fireworks display that is the best in the region. Also, Windmill City Festival is from July 12th through July 14th. And that, too, is a signature festival here in the city of Batavia. On the One Washington Place redevelopment site, Huff and Huff is beginning the groundwater testing, and they'll be doing that this week and next week. So you might see some activity out there on that site. One of the things that I wanted to show people, I talked about the city maps last time we were here, and I just wanted to demonstrate another aspect of that. People may be interested to know more information about various development projects that are happening in our town, and our GIS specialists and community development departments have collaborated to create an interactive map that is very slow to come up on the computer right now. It's an interactive map that shows the various areas that are under development in our town, and you can either scroll through them up here to find where those various developments are, or you can click on either the photo down here or the More Info button here, and this will take you to documents that tell you all about the project. I'm sorry that the internet is being a little bit slow tonight, but this is the memo associated with the approval of this project, and scrolling down, you'll make your way all the way to the site plans. You can scroll through those, see the different elevations. I think it's a really valuable tool for people who are interested in seeing all the great new developments that we have going on. It's not 100% of the project, so we are trying to feature, some of the bigger projects that are going on in our town, and of which there really are many. The Raising Cane's was one that I just brought up. We did receive, we actually have issued their full building permit at this time, so we expect that work is going to be starting in earnest this week. And also, last week you discussed the staging for the storage for Target, the remodeling project that they have going on there. And they have their permit for interior renovation, as well as the Park District received their permit for interior renovations as well at their East Side Center. In Public Works, the wastewater treatment plant has reached an important milestone with our city staff being able to move back into the building. So they're very happy to get into their new offices, but that's always a lot of hard work to transition back into those offices. And also, rehabilitation work has begun on well number 7. And I just have a note here to mention to people that we have a lot of thunderstorms in the forecast, but please take the opportunity before those storms approach to maybe check the gutters and grates that exist on your street to make sure that there isn't anything blocking them. Sunday's storm was amazingly violent is the only word for it. High winds and a tremendous amount of rain, and making sure those storm drains are clear is going to be vital to making sure that we're able to collect the storm water where it's supposed to be and not in yards and on basements. So we thank you for your cooperation. Does anybody have any questions for me this evening?
Any questions, Laura? Alderman Callahan?
I think you said Bocaditos is nearing completion?
Yes, as a matter of fact. So the Bocaditos restaurant, which is at 109 East Wilson, is nearing completion. Yeah. So we're looking forward to them being able to open soon. It's an Argentinian restaurant who specialize in empanadas, both savory and sweet empanadas. I don't know if they'll have any eat-in area, mainly carry-out. Scott?
Yeah, after the revisions, they are just going to be a carry-out.
And Oakets Wine obviously is a little bit more.
It's a little bit more involved since there's, yes, no front to the restaurant right now, but there is work being done on the site.
It's area.
Because we don't, you know, it's a sidewalk, and we don't want that area to be blocked for any longer than it has to be.
Alderman Knapp?
Can you clarify the fireworks, 5 o'clock starting time at Ingstrom Park or 6?
I've seen 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Can anyone, when I go to, here we go.
Oh, I'm usually there at 4 o'clock anyway, so I just want to make sure, how long do I need?
If you're there at 5, you won't miss anything.
You get a great seat, and the lines for food are short, and you get a lot of time to meet with people, and it's a lot of fun.
It's a great community event.
Haven't missed one since I've lived here.
Here you go, July 4th, 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m.
But many people are there, as Alderman
Oh,
Knapp
yes.
pointed out, at 2, 3, 4.
That's right, you got to get your
Stay at
spot.
your spot. Well, it's not right when you just come put a blanket down it and then
No,
leave.
you got to stay.
Stay.
You have to stay.
Probably are. I think there's blankets in the football stadium holding.
Yeah, I certainly encourage everyone to go out there and participate. This is the 69th annual Batavia fireworks display, and I can still sit here and brag to you that we have yet to put any taxpayer dollars on the table to buy the fireworks. For 69 years, those fireworks have been paid for by public donations by Batavia residents and businesses and good people who enjoy that sense of community that's created there.
There's another event that will be on July 6th, and it's sponsored by the Fox Valley Patriotic Organization. It is going to be a book signing by a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, Alan Lynch. He will be there, and he will be signing copies of his book, Zero to Hero, Bullied Kid to War Hero. And so encourage everyone to
That's at Limestone.
take the opportunity to meet him at Limestone. Do you know the time? Is it 10?
Yeah, it is at, I was going to bring it up under other.
Thank you.
I'll look it up and bring it up
Okay.
under other, but to get the signed is, you have to buy a brick too. 10.
Okay.
10 to 12.
It's in the morning, I believe.
Right. And I think they only have 100 books, so hurry.
You might want to, or bring your own?
You could do that too.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.? Thank you.
Any other questions of Laura? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, committee reports. Alderman Rosado, do you have anything?
Yes, nothing on the agenda, Your Honor.
Okay, Alderman Chanzit.
Nothing to report, but except I do see a presentation on bike sharing at the next county meeting.
I think that's a great idea. I would encourage everybody to come and observe that. I know Troy at the county, who works for the Kane County Council of Mayors, is coming and going to kind of lead that as a kind of an outside expert, but that's a great program. I really appreciate what they're trying to do there. Alderman McFadden, do you have anything? Aren't you vice chairman of?
No, Dan, I'm vice chair of government services with Dan.
Okay. Who's got Wolf's position then? Oh, you had,
City Services, so now.
oh,
I'm on first.
okay, you're. You guys changed all this around. I haven't learned this yet. Alderman Callahan?
Yeah, I thought the amended SSA was government services. Is that not correct legislation? I don't think we have anything but subbing for government services. I believe there's an amended SSA for number 61 for 1 North Washington.
Thank you, Alderman Chandler.
No problem.
Do we have anything more than that tonight, or is that
Nope,
just
that's
coming?
it. That's next week.
That's
Okay,
July
Alderman
9th.
O'Brien, community, or
Public Utilities. Your Honor, July 9th, we have, we're going to discuss change order number 8 with Williams Construction for the Phase 1 wastewater treatment facility.
Okay. All right, moving to other business. Alderman Callahan, you had something you said you wanted to bring up under other business.
No, it was already brought up. It was Al Lynch's book signing.
Okay. Anybody else have other business? All right, I just want to close up then under the mayor's report with making a couple observations. Number one, as the mayor, I could not be more proud of our city staff and how quickly they all rose to the occasion this past weekend on a number of occasions. Certainly, Sunday afternoon, the storm came through, and that was some huge winds that hit us. And despite we had some minor outages on the electric utility, but fortunately, unlike many of the neighboring communities, ours were quickly resolved and everybody was back in line within, I don't know, Gary, was anybody out more than an hour and a half?
There were a couple.
Let's just get a puke here. Okay.
I'm supposed to talk in the microphone. Our electric guys, from the time they responded till the time they went home, was a total of 4 hours. So customers were put on a little quicker than that, but
The vast majority of them were back very, very quickly.
yeah.
Certainly, Public Works, the street department, electric was just tremendous and how quickly they did it. I've received several comments today from residents about how quickly everything was returned and restored. So hats off to them. I want to tell you, the fire department and the police department were extraordinary. I think yesterday, as near as I could count, the fire department responded to probably in excess of 30 alarms between ambulance and fires. That's a lot of calls for a department of our size, but they rose to the occasion, as did the Batavia Police Department. I had the experience, I was out kind of riding around because I had my radio with me and the phone and was seeing what was going on. And we got a call to go to 203 Whipple Street, right to the west of the Twin Elms Restaurant on Main Street, that a tree had come down into a house. And so I was just happened to be a couple blocks away, so I got there, and by the time I got there, and as I say, I was just a couple blocks away, there were 2 Batavia squad cars already there. The owner of the home was not in the house, was not present. They thoroughly checked that out, and then they were out there making sure that, because there were some electric lines that were very nearby this, but fortunately, the way the tree fell, it fell away from the electric lines. But it did a lot of damage to the house on the west side of the house. And then the fire department got there, and everything was extremely well taken care of. But then, you know, in the middle of this, again, the police and fire on the fire side, the ambulance and the police on their side, we continue to have enhanced business and demands for the services of both those organizations. I mean, we're heading to some record numbers of responses and the types of calls and the intensity of them, the mental illness that's coming out, the domestic violence, the drug issues that are being brought out, and then certainly the volumes of traffic, and then, you know, the theft issues that we are dealing with, and the variety of stuff that we have to deal with in the community, and not one department gets involved, but in many instances, 2 or 3 of them have to get involved. And so we constantly are fighting the good fight to keep everything in line, and I think our people do an extraordinary great job of doing just that. And so as the mayor, I just wanted to officially go on record as saluting the response of our city workers on when it was traditionally their days off, we had a lot of them working this weekend, and so we are very fortunate to have the group that we do. I had the opportunity, because I was wanting to get Batavia to look nice. There was a few places in the downtown that I thought we needed to jazz it up a little bit, so I took it upon myself yesterday to go out and I basically camped on Batavia Avenue from Wilson Street down to Main Street, and I weeded personally the west side of the street. I took out all the dandelions and the thistles and the grass that was growing in different places. So if you go down there now, it's pretty well cleaned up. And then Public Works, Laura and I went out on Friday and looked at a bunch of stuff and made a list, and they were jolly on the spot today to respond to a lot of the other areas along Wilson Street and whatever have you. You know, I think we got things looking pretty good here now for what's going to be all this population coming into town with the Windmill City Days and the fireworks and all the stuff that goes on, because this next 3 or 4 weeks in Batavia are the community table dinner and everything else. This is the time when downtown Batavia gets its real attention. That being said, I'm going to propose to you that I'm looking at July 23rd, which would be the third Tuesday night of the month, that it's been a year or two since we've done this. I'd like to take another mayor's walk of the downtown area, specifically looking at the Fox River yet again, because we did this a couple years ago. We were down looking at what was then going to be the new wastewater treatment plant site. And I think everybody was able to then, by standing there and looking at it, we envisioned in our minds how things were going to look. And as you may remember, last year about this same time, we had that joint session over here at the Peg Bond Center with our friends from the Park District. I think those are goals and ideas and potentials that we need to keep focused on, and we need to keep the city council aware of them. So I'd like to have you all come out. I'm going to ask the staff to do a couple of brief presentations, but specifically, I would like to walk both banks of the river, maybe leaving here, going down to the west side by the water treatment plant, maybe saving a tour of that for another time, but going across the islands and then come back up River Street and then over here on North River Street and kind of look at what's going on there, because we've got some other people who are in here nosing around asking questions about maybe some other types of development, land uses and whatever. And I think it would be very good for all of us to kind of have an understanding and discuss among ourselves what it is we would like to see and what maybe we wouldn't like to see in some of these areas. And I would tell you that I'm of the opinion that downtown Batavia is on the cusp, and we've been going in some right direction, I think, for a number of years, but we are on the cusp of some really potentially exciting redevelopment opportunities in the downtown area on Batavia Avenue, Wilson Street, River Street. There's some places that I think could really be jazzed up here in the next few years. And I certainly want to have the city council sending the right message that we're in partnership and enthusiasm and want to see what it is that will make this town really shine. I think we're shining already, but I think we could do a better enhanced job of making the Batavia message something that will truly make this a proud place for people to call home. In the next few weeks, I've got, I think, 4 different Batavia high school class reunions coming in. They're either their 50th or 60th class reunions. And it's interesting to talk, as I think I've told you before, to talk to these people who were here 50 or 60 years ago, and they're coming out of Batavia High School in the 1950s or 1960s. And if you want to have your head spun in a proper manner, come down here and I'll tell you when they're going to be, when they're coming in a few weeks, and listen to what these people say about this town that many of them left 50 or 60 years ago and what they come back and find today. And the compliments are pretty heavy duty. I really kind of post my chest when I get through talking to these people, because the favorite one I remember saying to me was, Jeff, 60 years ago when I left here, that place they were talking about outside the door here, this was a dump down here. This was 55-gallon drums and storage piled all over and junk cars sitting around and buildings that were half falling down. And I left the dump and I come back and you've turned it into this beautiful garden and community gathering area. Boy, did you do the right thing here. And so, I remember certainly all the ups and downs of that whole thing, and we were very fortunate that we had people like Ted Schuster in town at the moment he was here, because he not only drove the ideas for the sidewalk, but he certainly helped drive the idea for the Riverwalk to be built, among other things. And, we were able to take this area down here and put this walk along here. And the bike trails were added, and again, they were highly controversial. There's a lot of people who didn't want those bike trails in. And then we brought in the senior living community, and that was highly controversial. And then we talked about tearing down the old high school and building the new library, and that was just narrowly approved in a referendum, but it got done. And now everybody is patting everybody on the back for what a great facility that is. So we've had some good success here. I certainly don't want to see us lose the momentum. But, with the Baptist Church property and the Chase Bank property and the property down there by the water treatment plant on South Shumway and some of the areas still left here, North River Street, we got some really still great potentials for some neat things to happen in Batavia in the next 5 to 10 years. And I would hope that this council would see it, realize it, and want to be a partner in it. And I think you do, but I think it's good that we go out and kind of walk it so everybody can feel it and kind of sense what could be done here. And right now, I think we're blessed with a great staff that understands it, works for it, understands what we need to do to accomplish it, and everything seems to be going in the right direction. So I really appreciate it. Alderman Savati?
Have we met earlier when we've done those walks, other than before 7? Or at 6? Do we want to try and do that?
I haven't got that far yet, but I would
Okay.
suggest that. Because right now, we try to get it over with a little after 8. Right now, what time is it? It's 8:45, and it's just starting to get pretty dark. And by that time, it'll probably be by 8:15, 8:20, it'll start to get dark. So, I feel an hour on the west side of the river and an hour on the east side of the river, and we'll keep it moving. And certainly anybody else that wants to come and join with us is welcome. I know that our folks that bought the old building right here next to the river on the east side are in there working, getting their building ready to be unveiled to show their kitchen store they're going to have in there. So there's some neat things happening here. We just talked about the restaurants that are coming when these two open up on the East Wilson Street Hill. That with Riverview Banquet or Riverview Pizza, we're going to have 3 new restaurants, and then within about a 90-day run here in downtown Batavia, they're all going to be brand new. And, when I go to Chicago and talk to my fellow mayors in there, they can't believe we got this much positive stuff happening. Because there's a lot of towns that would love to have 3 new restaurants opening up in their downtown. So we're doing some stuff the right way here, but we're fortunate to have the staff that we got. Alderman Chanzit?
I have always appreciated the walks that you've done, and I would ask to add 2 more. We had 5 corridors recognized for streetscape improvements, and we have 2 corridors that we have not touched yet. So the Water Street might be an interesting walk one evening, and then just the Batavia Avenue might be a great walk.
Right. And that may be one we could do a little bit, a few weeks after. I appreciate the thought, because I think that should be done. Certainly, Water Street has a lot of interesting ideas that are thrown around over there. Some of that, I think, could be certainly tied in very strongly with what may happen at the Chase Bank site if that comes together. So, we can work those 2 together. I think it's something that, neat things. In a couple of weeks, a few weeks back, Laura and I took a trip to Western Springs, of all places, because they are building a 4-story mixed-use building in their downtown, which has got a retail front on the first floor with parking behind it, and then they've got 3 floors of upscale condos that they'll sell you at different sizes and whatever. And I called the mayor, who I know, and said, could we come over? And she says, I said, maybe walk around the building. She says, I'll get you inside. So Laura and I went over there, and we got to go inside. We met the developer, the whole 9 yards. And if you're not doing anything someday, go over there and take the building's pretty well up now. But what's interesting to me is, if you go there, you're going to say to yourself, my goodness gracious, how did this happen? Because they have almost the identical building, even to the color of the brick, of Aben Docks, sitting in downtown Western Springs, right next to this brand-new multi-million-dollar building. And so you can go over there and see what they did there and come back here and think what we could do here. So Laura and I went over there, and the city administrator and the mayor took us to lunch. So now they're coming back here, when it's the 17th, they're coming over here on the 17th of July, and we're going to give them a tour of Batavia. And, because they'd like to see what, because we were talking about correlations and comparisons. So that type of stuff is out there, but we're pairing ourselves up with Western Springs here and sharing ideas. And as they say, if you're out riding around sometime, it's just a couple, about 10 blocks south of Ogden Avenue. This thing is right on the Burlington train station, right downtown. And it's right there, and it's not named Abe and Doc's, it's a different name. I guess it was the old fire chief's gas station. But it's right there, and it looks like it's Abe and Doc's was built here and built there, the same building. So it's interesting to see.
Mr. Mayor, may I just say something, please? Didn't mean to interrupt you. Just what you talked about, our electric utility. I wanted to just put forth too, though, is we own the electric utility, and it takes a lot of knocks, and not to diminish the fidelity of our workers. They do a wonderful job. We do own the utility, so we're able to do it, which is a wonderful thing. And I want people to recognize that, and that we have a redundant system, that we put a lot of effort into our system to make it what it is with Gary's leadership and the workers that we have. So,
Right.
you know, it's something we should continue to always sell as our utility.
Absolutely.
So,
No argument from me. All right, who's the motion maker for adjournment now? Who gets that? Alderman Chance?
Mike tonight.
Mike?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk, take a voice vote.
All in favor?
Aye.